everybody, it's Mike from Chili Pepper Madness. A real common question that I get on the blog all the time is how do you make a roux? And I use roux quite often in a lot of different recipes. Usually it's for a thickener or for making sauces or for making a lot of Cajun recipes. And I write it up all the time, but some people have a couple issues. So what I wanted to do is show you how to make a roux on video so you can really get a good idea of how it's made. It's pretty easy, but there's a couple little tricks to it. So really a roux is basically a mixture, an equal mixture of flour and some kind of a fat. And usually the fat is some kind of a neutral oil, like peanut oil or canola oil. You can really use any kind of an oil that you want to if you want to. Something like olive oil would work just fine, but olive oil will affect the flavor and it could burn a little more easily. You could also use butter, and you can also use some sort of another fat like bacon drippings would work as well. So let me show you how to make it. To make a roux, the first thing we do is we add our oil to a hot pan, not too hot. And I have a half a cup here of peanut oil, but you can use other oils or use melted butter or other fats as we mentioned. And the next step here is we add equal amount of flour. And you start to stir. So if the one thing about making a roux is there's a lot of stirring. And you'll stir the flour in so that you get it nice and consistent. It'll look a little bit lumpy at first, but after you do it for a little while, it'll start to mix up and it just becomes a sort of a paste, like an oil flour paste. Show you this here. All the lumps start to even out very quickly. And so there's two things that are actually really important about making a roux. Number one is the temperature. You don't want to go too hot, because you can burn your roux and you'll start to smell it if your roux is burning. It'll kind of start to smell like burnt popcorn. And if you get that, you really want to start over because that'll add that kind of burnt flavor to whatever food you're making. And you don't really want that. You don't want to ruin a whole batch of gumbo or anything. And the second very important thing is to constantly be stirring. You don't want the roux mixture to be sitting on the bottom of the hot pan or pot, because then it'll start to burn. So that's just something important. So basically temperature and constant stirring. And it's going to be stirring for a while, so hunker down, maybe get a beer or whatever you got to do, have a drink right next to you, and be prepared for lots of stirring. Okay. So how long does it take to make a roux? Really, it depends on the type of roux, the darkness and thickness that you want. It can take anywhere really from 5 minutes all the way up to maybe 30 minutes. If you're gonna cook it down for about 5 minutes, what you'll be getting is a very light colored roux, and that's used a little bit more for thickening sauces. If you want to cook it for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, you'll get more of a blonde roux. And a lot of times I like to use a blonde roux for making certain soups and stews and gumbos, because it's a little bit thicker and it starts to change color and add some flavor. But if you go for anywhere up to 15 to 20 minutes, you'll get more of a darker roux, like a peanut butter color, or it'll be more like a copper penny color. And that's pretty much a kind of a wheelhouse awesome level to be, because you'll get really good flavor. You'll still get lots of thickness for whatever soup you're making. But you could also go really go longer, I would say 30 minutes or so, or even longer, depending on your heat, to get like a dark chocolate brown. And I see that a lot in when I'm down in New Orleans. They'll make a lot of their gumbos really dark, and it adds a lot of flavor when you cook your roux down that much. Super dark brown, but it's not as thick. So keep that in mind. You might want to try to make your recipes a few different ways with different thicknesses of roux. So check it out, you guys. Right now, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and you can see the roux, it's starting to change color, not too much, but it's starting to lightly brown. And you can use it at this point for thickening anywhere from soups and stews, but I'm gonna go ahead and cook it down for quite a bit longer so you can see what it looks like the longer you cook it. Still stirring the roux. Takes a little while. So funny story, you guys, when I was actually down in New Orleans not too long ago, I decided to take some cooking classes, and I took a few just to learn, how to make different recipes, Cajun style, Creole style. And one of the classes that I took, of course, you're gonna make a roux. and I knew how to make a roux, but I really wanted to see how they did it. And the chef instructor kind of looked at us and said, "Who here knows how to make a roux?" And I said, "Oh, I do." And he goes, "How long does it take for you to make your roux?" And I said, "Well, sometimes it takes me 30 minutes." And he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, you're one of those guys. You don't have to take that long to make a roux." So I know you can make a roux much faster than that. You don't have to cook it for 30 minutes, but it depends on the color you want. But the funny thing is, as he was making his roux and he was making it fast, I could totally smell that he was burning it. He totally burnt the roux. And so, I mean, that's my whole point is, you know, it was a demo, but just don't burn the roux. If you're trying to go for speed, you know, you're going to wind up burning it. So just don't go too high with the temperature and just keep stirring. And if it takes you longer, yeah, maybe you stir much faster. Stir a lot faster. I don't know. Just really, just try not to burn the roux. All right, here we are at 10 minutes, and you can see that I've got a nice blonde roux. It's light colored. It is starting to brown. I did turn the heat up just a little bit without, you know, I don't want to go too hot again. But well, let's keep cooking and see where we are in another 5 minutes. Here we are at 15 minutes cooking, constantly stirring the roux, just stirring the roux. And you can see that it's changing color. This is a little bit more like a peanut butter color, like a light peanut butter. And right now this is great for making a little thicker kind of a gumbo or etouffee or some fricassee. And yeah, look at it, it looks good. Let's keep going and see what we look like at 20 minutes. So what can you make with a roux? Why do you want to make a roux? Traditionally, it's a French technique, and it's used to as a thickener, as I mentioned. You start a roux if you want to make like a thick gravy. You can do lots of soups, lots of stews. You know, thicken up all sorts of pots of you know, thick stew. I like to make a roux to make my creamy beer cheese, and I have that recipe on the website. But really, it's making a roux is pretty huge in Cajun cooking. So there's all sorts of wonderful Cajun cuisine that starts with a roux. Anywhere from making a thick pot of gumbo, and you can go anywhere from blonde to dark chocolate, get lots of flavor. A fricassee, an etouffee, and just all sorts of wonderful sauces. So really, there's a lot of reasons why you want to make a roux. Add flavor, thickness, and deliciousness. Here we are at 20 minutes, and you can see it's even darker. It's much more like a dark peanut butter color. And looking good. You can totally use it right now, but let's keep going and see where we are in another 5 minutes. Here we are at 25 minutes, and you can see we've achieved a chocolate brown color, so the flour is really darkened in there in the oil. Still constantly stirring, and you'll get a lot of flavor right now. But, you know, let's just keep going and see what we get at 30 minutes. Here we are at just a touch over 30 minutes, and you can see that it's a rich, starting to get a nice dark chocolate brown. And if I keep going, it's going to get even darker chocolate brown. And that's it. I mean, this is going to add a lot of flavor. Oh, baby. So that's it, guys. That's how you make a roux. Just remember, most important things is just constantly keep stirring and do not burn the roux. I mean, those are the only 2 rules that I think are important. Mine is just about done, and I think I'm going to go make us a gumbo. So that's it. Chili Pepper Madness. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.